Time once again for HTBL Baseball. Big Polly coming to you this, well, in real life it is June 23, 2021, but in the game we are still early mid-April, and we're going to go through what happened yesterday. Actually, you know what? I have my 1969 replay up, which I should switch over to the HTBL. Thank you very much. So give me a moment here, folks, and then I will have you on the right page. There we go. Now I can show it to you. So I was looking at the date. It said April 10. I know we're much farther beyond that. It's April 14th. And today it's going to be Houston and Kansas City, but we should go through what happened in the HTBL yesterday. It was a close game between Tampa Bay and Boston, 3-2 going in the bottom of the eighth. And then Tampa Bay's bullpen got in the game, and they probably wished they did not. 9 runs scored in the bottom of the eighth, and they win 12-2. Both teams now 4-4. Houston over Grove. Fritch went 2 for 4, a double, and 2 stolen bases. The Yankees over the Orioles 7-1. Hoyt over Pappas. Malzone 3 for 4 and 2 doubles. Yes, I know Malzone played for Boston, but if you've been following along, we picked 40 players from each team in their current location, and when all that is done, we pick 10. There was a random draw, and we draft 10 players, and they can go each every which way but loose, and because that happened, it gives the team some chance, equal footing to play in the HTBL. Otherwise, you'd have Tampa Bay not having any chance, and you'd probably have the Yankees running away with it. The Tigers over the Blue Jays 8-0. Trout over Steve Greenberg 3 for 5, a homer, and 4 ribbies. Minnesota over St. Louis 2-1. Nathan over Garver, and Maurer went 3 for 5. The Marlins over the Phillies 5-3, bringing the Phillies back to earth a little bit. Hammond over Bunning. Ott went 1 for 3, a homer, and a stolen base. The Mets over the Nationals 3-2. Gooden and was the winner. Lannon was the Gooden the winner. Lannon got the loss, and Randy Myers got the save for the Mets. The Expos over the Reds 7-3. Rogers over Donahue. Fitzgerald 2 for 2, 3 RBIs, and a double. The Braves over the Pirates 3-2. Graves over Kramer, and Vaughn went 2 for 3 and got a triple. Okay, so the Tribe probably doing the best right now. They won 8-7 over the White Sox. Garcia over Pierce. Martinez 2 for 4, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. The Royals over Houston 5-2. They are 6-2. Gubasal over Oswalt. Escobar went 4 for 4. The Brewers over the Cubbies 11-9. Long over Root. Wilson 2 for 4, 2 home runs to get to 5 so far on the year and 4 RBIs. You wonder if in 144 games Wilson could get something close to 60 home runs. We'll see as the season progresses. It was the Rockies over the Cardinals on Busch Stadium 7-6. Shirley over Lanier. Hornsby 3 for 5, his third home run and a double. The A's over the Rangers 6-2. So here come the A's. They went 10 innings. Keefe over Caudle, and Tejada 3 for 5 and 2 home runs. Maybe they should pat him down. The Angels over the Mariners 7-4. Finley over Moyer. Martinez 4 for 5 and 2 doubles. I'm taping this the day after the shenanigans in that Nationals-Phillies game where Max Scherzer got patted down numerous times, and he nearly got into it with Joe Girardi, who, of course, is the Phillies skipper. The Diamondbacks over the Dodgers 4-3, and that was the game you saw last. Mullane over Koufax. Montero hit the game-winning home run. Surprise, surprise. So that brings us to April 14th in the league, and everybody playing their 9th game. Well, not everybody. And we'll go back to the AL East tomorrow as we have the out-of-division games starting. Actually, they will be the day. There's going to be a day of rest, and everybody's going to play the following day, and they'll start playing out-of-division games. So it's Houston and Kansas City by the request of Mr. Luke Brown. So let's get this started. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, where Houston was just at a week ago. Kansas City will start Charlie Leibrandt, the lefty, and we'll go through the lineups once we get the game started. We hear those words of...
Pitching for Kansas City, Charlie Leibrandt.
Well, I was going to say play ball, but we don't get play ball yet. We get it now. And off we go, Kansas City and Houston. The lineup for Houston, I believe we saw these guys against St. Louis about a week ago. Leading off, Cruz in left field. That is Jose Cruz. Jose, can you see Cruz? Doran batting second at short, playing second base, second and second. Bagwell at first. He bats third. Wynn, the center fielder, he hits fourth. Caminiti at third base, bats fifth. Menke, the shortstop, bats sixth. Poole in right field, batting seventh. Bass, the DH, hits eighth. Edwards, the catcher, hits ninth. Mike Scott in for Houston. He can go 125 pitches. For Kansas City, Sweet Lou Piniella in left field, a 6 range and a 5 arm. Beltran, a 9 and an 8 in center. Eisenreich, a 5 and a 4 in right, can play multiple positions. George Brett, Mr. Pine Tar, a 7 range at third. Escobar, Alcides Escobar is at 8 at short. Offerman, a 4 at second base and also a 4 at short. He also plays first base. Sweeney, a catcher and a first baseman, he is a 5. Roy Campanella is the Kansas City catcher. How about that? He is a 9 and an 8 behind the dish. And Leibrandt is a 7. That is his pitching range. So Cruz leads it off. Temperature at Kauffman Stadium for this game, 69 degrees. A wind of 12 miles per hour going left to right as you see it. A hitter's park for lefties is Kauffman Stadium, or was in 2020, but right-handed batters will have a little bit of trouble. So here's the pitch to start the game. Cruz, a base hit to right. Forgot to give you Cruz's stats. He's now .313 on the year. I always seem to forget to get the first few batters, their statistics in. Bill Doran now, your number 2 hitter. This is his first at-bat of the season. Leibrandt, his second start, in his last start, he went 7 innings. His ERA is 5.14, his WHIP 1,000, and his average, opposing batting average, is 250. But that is including the hit that just occurred. Cruz not a threat to steal. They got the hold on him. Doran hits this to first base. And Sweeney got it to the bag. Cruz will advance to second. Jeff Bagwell, 250 on the year, a homer and 3 ribbies. OPS of 757. And I play as Kansas City here. I always play as the home team unless I'm playing Tampa Bay. And I would play as Tampa Bay regardless of whether they are the home team or not. Might see them tomorrow or on our next episode whenever I decide to do that. I'll pitch around Bagwell. That's ball 4, and Bagwell takes his base. Shout out to Ron Juckett, who had a very interesting action PC baseball game from his 1949 sim between Detroit and New York. I won't spoil it for you, but I think it would most definitely be worth a look if you're into action PC baseball. Jimmy Wynn now up for the Astros, 172 and 2 not 2 home runs, but 2 ribbies. Runners at first and third, as the base on balls was also a wild pitch. So that's how Cruz got to third. We're going to go corners in with 1 out. See if we can get the double play here. And that's a base hit up the middle. That will score at least 1 run. Bagwell scoots over to third. Wynn is at first base on a single. Give him the RBI. It's 1-0 in favor of the Astros. Ken Caminiti up. 235 on the year and 34 at bats, a homer and 4 ribbies. His OPS a 588 at this point. I'll do a pickoff move to first base. And they got him. They got Wynn at first, a pickoff move. So that was nicely done. Two out now. No count on Caminiti. And that's it's too early. I don't know. 44% chance to get the out. I'm not going to dive. We'll just play it on a hop. Too early to go for it. And that brings in the second run for Houston. An RBI single for Caminiti. 2-0. This brings up Dennis Menke. Hitless in 2 at-bats so far this year. That's a strikeout. And finally, Kansas City out of the inning. Mike Scott has pitched 9 innings so far. His ERA is 0. His WHIP 5.56. He only gave up 3 hits in his last start, 2 walks and 3 Ks. Opposing batting average against him is a very robust 100. So the batting lineup for Kansas City, leading off Offerman at second, Eisenreich at right, hitting second. Eisenreich right field. Brett at third base, he hits third. Beltran at center, he hits fourth. Sweeney, the first baseman, hits fifth. McRae, the DH, hits sixth. Hal McRae. Campanella, the catcher, is seventh. Pinilla, the left fielder, is eighth. And Alcides Escobar is your shortstop. He hits ninth. Defensively for Houston, Cruz is a 7-4 in left field. In center is Jim Wynn. He is a 6 and a 7. Poole is a 5 and a 6 in right. Caminiti a 7 at third. Menke a 4 at short. Doran a 6 at second. And Bagwell, who's playing in because he thinks Offerman's going to bunt, is a 6 at first base. Edwards is an 8 with a 6 throwing arm catching. And Mike Scott is a 7 range-wise as a pitcher. So with Kansas City tipping, Houston is tipping their hand. If Kansas City tipping their hand, I'm going to go for it. Swing away. That a base hit? Yes, it is. And Hofferman is aboard with a 69% steal rate. I'm going to take. See if I can work the count. Oh, he's down to 55. A strike would have upped the steal percentage, so we'll just play it safe. Eisenreich is an 8 with the hit and run. Grounded to first. Bagwell unassisted, and that's going to move Offerman to second base. So almost got it done. George Brett, who had quite a season in 1980, was flirting with the 400 mark. So far this year, Brett is 478 in the HTBL, 1 homer, 1 ribby. His OPS 1.152. Brett right to Doran for the second out. Beltran up now for Kansas City. He's hitting 394, a homer, and 4 RBIs. Beltran hits this well to right. Poole comes over, makes the grab, and we're out of the first inning. 2-0 Houston over KC. Poole up. Poole on the year so far, 118 and 7 at-bats, has 1 RBI. He is the 7-hitter. After that, it'll be Bass and Edwards. Grounder to first base. Sweeney unassisted, 1 out. Bass, Kevin Bass, 129 on the year and 31 at-bats. 3 RBIs driven in so far. That is a base hit to left field. So Bass aboard. Bringing up John Edwards. Edwards 300 on the season and 30 at-bats, 9 hits, 2 RBIs. We'll see what happens here. Skied to right. Can Eisenreich get to it? No, it's a foul ball. Lebrand already at 39 pitches. He deals. Grounder, Escobar, Offerman, Sweeney, double play. So Kansas City is back at the plate. Bottom of the second, 2-0 in favor of the Astros. Sweeney up. Sweeney on the year so far, 269 and 26 at-bats. He has a homer and 8 ribbies. Scott only needed 11 pitches to get out of the first. And McRae and Campbell will follow Sweeney in the batting order. That was a little dipsy-do base hit up the middle. Sweeney aboard. Nobody out. Hal McRae, 273 on the year. former Tampa Bay Rays skipper. No homers and 2 ribbies. We'll take. And that's a strike. Actually, that did not up Sweeney's stolen base percentage. It dropped it to 50. And that's a strikeout of McRae. Here comes Roy Campanella, who we know from the Brooklyn Dodgers. 233 on the year, no homers, and 3 RBIs. That was the first K of the game for Scott. He's up to 4 now. He usually is a bit of a strikeout master, a great power pitcher. And safe to throw over to first base. We're going to steal now. Well, we can't get a good lead off, so the percentage drops sharply to 65. We're still going to try it. There he goes. He's safe. Sweeney in with his second stolen base of the season. Now Campanella looking at a 1-1 count. Ball 4. So the Royals pick up another base runner. Lou Piniella, who has been many places. He was a Seattle Pilot very briefly in 1969, which just comes to mind because I've been reading Ball 4, nearly done with the book now. 357 on the year, no homers, but 4 RBIs in that 8-hole spot. That is hit to right. Poole makes the put out right at the wall. We're going to advance Sweeney to third. Oh, he's out. What a gunning play there by Eisenreich. I'm sorry, it wasn't Eisenreich. It was Terry Poole in right field. Let's look at that again. Good heavens. It was Poole in right field with a 6-arm. I thought Sweeney would be safe. Catches it right at the wall. He guns it to third base and gets the out. How about that? 2-0 Houston. We go to the third, and we go back to Jose Cruz, 1 for 1 on the day. Lee Brandt had 40 pitches. His EPC is 110. Scott is at 125. Popped up. Should be Offerman's. And it is for the first out. Bill Doran again back up for Houston, 0 for 1 on the day. That's up the middle, a base hit, so he's now 1 for 2. Lee Brandt gets to look at Bagwell again. Bagwell not an official at bat yet in the game because he has walked. Sharply hit, a base hit to left. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Bagwell in there safely with a double. And I think there was a poor play by George Brett. And Bagwell, his first double of the year, bringing up Jimmy Wind. Jimmy Wind, not Wind. We'll pitch around him here with 1 out, try to set up a double play. Ball 4. Caminiti up. Who can slug? We're going to play halfway with the 2-0 deficit. Hit the left. Piniella coming in, makes the put out. And we don't have much of a chance to get him at home. So Doran scores 3-0 in favor of KC. Dennis Menke now up for Houston. Pitch to him. As Lee Brandt continues to have all kinds of trouble keeping runners off base. That's his third walk of the game. Also his third walk of the season. So had good control in his last outing, but is struggling here. Terry Poole at right field, who just made that double play, that 9-5 double play, and with that bullet throw to third from the right field wall, he steps in. Grounded, Brett goes to first to get the out, and does. Played 2.5. It hasn't gone so good for the Royals. They trail 3-0. Escobar up. He's the 9-hitter, so we look at his stats. 321 on the year, just 2 RBIs, 28 at bats, so he's 9 for 28. Hit well to right, but Poole will camp underneath that, 1 out. Offerman up for KC. Houston's left 4 on base. KC so far 2. That's ball 4. You're down 3, so you really don't want to run here. Brings up Eisenreich. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Poole, can he get it? Yes, he can. Some great defensive fielding here by Poole in these first 3 innings. George Brett, your new hitter, 0 for 1 on the day. Ball 4, he gets aboard. So Beltran, if he could belt a Gonzo here, will be tied. Third walk for Scott, who has had 5s now. That was his 5th walk of the season, so he had 2 in the last game. Beltran on the ground. Doran to Menke, and they get the force at second base, needing only 1 out. We go to the 4th, 3-0 Houston. So Bass stepping in, 1 for 1 on the day so far. So Houston about to bat around for the 3rd time once we get through this these next 2 batters. Leibrandt deals. Hit the center. Beltran with the out. 1 gone. Edwards, your new hitter, 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out. Leibrandt's 2nd K of the game to go with his 3 walks. Jose Cruz back up for Houston, 1 for 2. This is Brett. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is. Didn't even have to move. Side retired for Houston in their 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0. Kansas City's got work to do. Here is Sweeney. Sweeney 1 for 1 on the day as Scott deals. Up the middle, a base hit. He'll go for second. He gets it. A double for Sweeney. That's number 3 for him on the year. Scott, by the way, is up to 55 pitches. So they're working Scott a little bit. They just haven't put the runs together. Hal McRae, your new hitter, 0 for 1 on the day. And that's going to be a base hit. And it looked like Cruz had trouble with it. We'll keep Sweeney at third base regardless because Cruz has a forearm. Could have tried for the run here, but I like to have a 60% percentage chance before I do anything. I like to play it a little conservatively. McRae is 78%, has a 78% steal rate at first, so let's move him. Oh, he is caught stealing. See, I shouldn't have moved him. Okay, bottom of the 4th, 1 out. KC could still get something going here. Campanella, he walks. We're just going to keep him in place. So that 94% stolen base. I can't ignore that. Let's go for it. He's in with the stolen base. So now it's Piniella, 0 for 1 on the day. Kansas City trying to get on the Cadillac board. He struck out, which is going to leave us to Alcides Escobar, 0 for 1 on the day. He pops it up, so Kansas City is going to go for not unless it's a foul ball. It is. So Escobar gets one more crack at it. Although Scott's really had to work to get his outs. He's now at 73 pitches. And a base hit, that's going to bring in at least 1. Campanella comes in, he scores. It's 3-2. So there is life in the Royals yet. And I'm going to steal second. And he's in there, Escobar. Get that running game going for KC. They can move. Top of the order, we go to Offerman, who's 1 for 1. Third time through the lineup, he's hit. Offerman is hit, and now we got runners at first and second for Jim Eisenreich. Scott having a devil of a time in this game. Either a passed ball or a wild pitch, but it's going to move the runners up. It's a passed ball. Edwards could not hold on to that one. So now a well-placed base hit, and Kansas City takes the lead. Scott to Eisenreich. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. And look who's up, Mr. Royal, George Brett. 0 for 1 on the day. But he's a tough out. Brief confab at the mound. Pitch. Fair ball down the right field line. It goes to the wall. 2-run score. And I'm going to send Eisenreich for the 3rd run on the play. He is safe. Brett's going to move to third, a bases loaded triple. And just like that, it's 5-3 Kansas City. Beltran now up with Brett at third. That's a base hit. So Beltran scores, and it's 6-3. Big inning here for the Kansas City Royals. Sweeney up, 2 for 2, but he strikes out, and that quells the rally for the Royals, but they pick up 6, and we go to the top of the fifth with the score now. The Royals 6 and the Astros 3. Bill Doran, your new hitter for Houston, 1 for 2. Liebrandt comes into his fifth inning of work. So far in this game, he has given up 6 hits, 3 walks, and has struck out 2. That's caught by Brett, 1 out. Liebrandt hit 81 pitches, so both starters have been getting worked pretty well. Bagwell up 1 for 1 on the day. Right to Brett, over to Sweeney, second out. Bringing up Jim Wynn, who is 1 for 1. That's a base hit to right field. So Houston will try to get a 2-out rally going. Here's Ken Caminiti. He is 1 for 1 on the day. A base hit. So now you got runners at first and third with Wynn going from first to third. Some good base running out of him. Dennis Menke, 0 for 1. Now a confab on the Kansas City mound, which is the same as the Houston mound. Great play and an out. Escobar to Sweeney, 6-3. And Houston has seen enough of Scott. Lou Brissy
for Houston, Lou Brissy
is going to enter the game. Brissy so far on the year has pitched 1 1/3, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, ERA a 6.75, and the whip and the opposing batting average are a little high up there, 2.250 and 3.33. McRae, grounder, Caminiti to Bagwell for the first out. 6 runs in the Kansas City fourth has changed the complexion of this game. Campanella now up for KC. He has not had an official at bat yet, though he has scored a run. Hit well to center, but right to win, 2 outs. Lou Piniella 0 for 2 on the day. That is a grounder to Menke to Bagwell, and it's 1-2-3 for the Royals in their fifth. We go to the sixth. 6-3 in favor of Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. So maybe just my 7th inning stretch here. There we go. Terry Poole 0 for 2 on the day. Liebrandt said to be fine. Getting close to that pitch limit, but let's see if we can work in this inning for him. Sweeney, unassisted, 1 out. Liebrandt now at 102 for Kevin Bass. 1 for 2 on the day. Base hit up the middle. So Houston has a thing going on with that single. Runner at first for Johnny Edwards, who is 0 for 2. And that's hit to the wall in right center field, and everybody's going to move up 2 bases. Bass at third. Edwards at second for Jose Cruz, who is 1 for 1 on the day. Probably the final batter Liebrandt will see. To Offerman, back to the shortstop. They get a double play out of that. How about that? That was line to the second baseman, the shortstop covering second. We'll watch that again. Offerman, and a catch. Edwards napping off of second for the double play. So KC will now bat in the sixth with the score 6-3. Escobar up 1 for 2. He'll try to improve that 333 batting average of his. Grounder to the shortstop. Menke to Bagwell for the first out. Offerman 1 for 1. He strikes out. First strikeout of the game for Brissy, and Jim Eisenreich is your new Kansas City hitter. 0 for 2 on the day. He hits in the number 2 hole, and that was grounded to the pitcher over the first. And we'll go to the 7th. Leibrandt can probably go one more batter at 108. We'll face Bill Doran here, and worst case scenario, Doran homers in at 6-4, so we'll keep him in. Doran to left field. Piniella doesn't even have to move. 1 out. So with Leibrandt over his EPC, we look to the bullpen. I want to see how the bullpen for Kansas City should be used. Who is the closer? Quisenberry is the closer. Well, that makes sense. So we'll look for Houston there, righty, switchy, righty, the next 4 batters. So we're going to bring Jackson in to pitch. Michael Jackson. Jackson so far in his HTBL season, 2-0, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Opponents are hitting 133 against him, and his whip 643. So Jackson will deal to Bagwell. 1 out in the top of the 7th, the 6-3 Kansas City lead. And with the score 6-3, I'm not going to risk Beltran here. Bagwell aboard with a single. Jim Wynn, 2 for 2 on the day. He gets a walk. Which brings up Ken Caminetti, who could tie the game in a swing. Jackson, by the way, can go 75 pitches in relief. Grounded to the first baseman, Sweeney. Over to the shortstop for 1. Over back to Sweeney, double play. Stretch time. Just got back in the nick of time. Hello, everybody. Big Paulie coming to you. We're in the bottom of the 7th. It was going well for Houston the first 3 innings. They built a 3-0 lead. Then Kansas City got the big inning in the bottom of the 4th, plating 6. And that's where we are at right now at your score 6-3. George Brett up for the Royals. He's hitting 1 for 2. Grounder, a base hit to right field. And Brett, a threat to steal. Although you're up 3, thinking about going for it. Let's go for it. Oh, he's out. He is out, even though he had 87% odds to get the stolen base. He does not, and that's 1 out. Beltran up 1 for 3. He strikes out, 2 gone. And that brings up Sweeney, 2 for 3 on the day. And that hits him. Sweeney aboard on with the old HBP. McRae, your new hitter for KC, 1 for 3. He struck out. And that makes the score 6-3. Jackson comes in for another inning of work. He will face Dennis Menke. If the score holds this way, I'll probably bring Quisenberry in the 9th, a long-time Kansas City reliever. Jackson dealing to Menke, who's 0 for 2 on the day, to Brett, to Sweeney, 1 out. Next up is Terry Poole, who is 0 for 3. Hit to right. Can Eisenreich get to it? He can. 2 outs. Kevin Bass, 2 for 3 on the day. This is hit to center. Beltran will make the put out, even though the animation stopped. Just imagine the ball going to Beltran, okay? Bottom of the 8th, 6-3 Kansas City. They have a 6-8-0 line score. Houston 3-11-0. 8 left on base for Houston, 6 for KC. Campanella up with nobody out. He's over 1. Menke to Bagwell, first out of the inning for the Royals. Here is Lou Piniella, 0 for 3 on the day. Up the middle, base hit. Base hit to center, and Piniella aboard. course, he'd go on and play for the Yankees, and I was mentioning earlier, he also played for the Seattle Pilots. And then they went on and became a manager in many a place, including the Tampa Bay Rays. So we have two former Tampa Bay Devil Rays / Rays managers on the Kansas City lineup. Escobar up, 1 for 3. Grounder, a base hit to the left, and Piniella is not going to advance from second base. So everybody moves up a plate. Jose Offerman, 1 for 2 on the day. Manage a little confab here for Houston. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Number 4 for Brissy. He's gotten all 4 in this game. He has 4 strikeouts in the season, so all the strikeouts he's had in the season came from this game. Eisenreich is 0 for 3, 081. KC hoping his batting average is going to improve, but it's not. Edwards makes the catch behind the dish. And Kansas City is out of their 8th with the score 6-3. Okay, so we'll save Jackson for another day, and we're going to bring in the quiz. Dan Quisenberry. A 7 range he has. He has 4 saves on the year. He has 6.2 innings pitched. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, has surrendered 5 hits. Opponents are hitting 208 against him, and his whip is 900. How many relief appearances has he had, I wonder? He has had 4 so far, and 3 of them have been against these very same Houston Astros. So Quisenberry and Houston will probably write Christmas cards to each other. No outs, top of the 9th, and we'll show you the lineups each way. Edwards is in with a 1 for 3. Day. Sweeney unassisted for the first out. Jose Cruz 1 for 4 as Houston goes through their lineup a 5th time. Houston with 11 hits. Kansas City with 10. And that's a base hit to right. That's going to bring up Bill Doran, who is 1 for 4 on the day. Ball 4, so the tying run at the plate now in the person of Jeff Bagwell. Oh, be careful here. He has a homer so far this year. He is 2 for 3 in today's game. Up the middle, Escobar to Offerman to Sweeney, and it looked like it got away from Offerman. It was actually the throw from second to first that pulled Sweeney off the bag. Cruz is in at third. Bagwell is at first. Nobody scores, and it's still 6-3. Jim Wynn, who is another very capable hitter, comes in 2 for 2 on the day. That's hit well, but right to Beltran. And Kansas City wins 6-3 over the Houston Astros in a battle of Midwest Division teams in the American League. So, as you see there, Houston 3-12-0, Kansas City 6-10-0. Scott picked up the loss 0-1, Lee Brandt the win 1-0. And each team Houston used 2 pitchers. Brissy in relief went 4 innings. And Jackson went an inning and 2/3, only gave up 1 hit, and Quisenberry came in and finished it off. MVP of the game, George Brett. Mr. Royal, as I like to call him. Brett on the day went 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, 1 run scored, and had 1 walk. So that does it for this edition of the Hometown Baseball League. Should be doing an AL East game tomorrow. It will involve one of the AL East leaders, but they will be playing a team outside their division. Could be Tampa Bay. It could be... Let's see here. It could be New York. It could be Boston. Could be Baltimore, because everybody's 4 for 4. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you well. Godspeed. God bless. Take care of yourselves and each other, as somebody used to say. And we'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.